Hi everybody, I'm Krista here at the Chunky Chick, and this is my epic greenhouse build. I'm going to take you for a quick tour and then I will get into the project and show you how we did it. So as you walk into our garden, you come directly in across from the greenhouse, and here she is with our bright door. So let's go inside. So this greenhouse is built from basically scrounged items. We did have to invest in some things, but a lot of things we already had or we were able to scrounge. So this is a 10 by 12 greenhouse with a plant shelf on the outside. Basically what we did is, because we would have to buy 12-foot pieces of lumber for the base, we built the frame 12 by 12 on the bottom, the platform. And the idea was to have a plant shelf on the side that I could put my strawberry planters or harden off seeds by setting them out there. The framework, these metal poles, were given to me, and they were some very old kits that were supposed to be the 80s style sunrooms that go on the attached to the side of the house, and so it's just like one bow and it leans up against the house. And I'll post a picture on here of what those look like and some samples. But these were kits that had been on a trailer. There was 3 of them, and the boxes had kind of eroded, so you couldn't tell what they were. You couldn't there weren't any directions with them because the boxes had just corroded, so they were just like, you know, crumpled cardboard banded around these metal poles. So we kind of had to put it together and figure it out and redesign it based on the parts that we had. So the plastic was sold to me for $25. It was a large roll. There's a lot more of it. It is greenhouse plastic, but it had been in a storage unit for a while. So we had those pieces, and the bones is what I call them, the bones of the greenhouse. So my dad and I sat down and figured out a design based on what we had. I've got $750 invested in this 11 by 12 roughly. It's like 10 3/4 by 12 foot greenhouse. There are some things that I would do different, and I will tell you about those at the end of the video. But for now, it was basically some lumber and plywood for the base and platform, because we are on a slope, so we thought it would be easier to make it level it that way, because we could sink posts into the ground, make it very sturdy and stable, and then build basically a little deck, put platform over it, and then put vinyl flooring to make cleanup easy. So that was what we went with. So most of the cost is in the floor and decking screws and metal screws, because we had to have a lot of screws. So that's where all of our cost is in, you know, some wood, the wood floor, the wood accent pieces, and the fasteners. The plastic was $25. The bones, the metal or aluminum bones, were free. The door was free. It came off of another greenhouse up in the mountains near my dad's. And so I just refinished it, and we put plastic on it because the screen and the tin was not good. So everything else was pretty much free, and even my table I built out of scraps, and it was very cost effective for this size greenhouse. So let's take a look at how we built it.
Ain't even been a week and you've already got that thing destroyed.
Yeah, well, she's a big Can't blame it on me. Will you? Oh, Mommy.
Make a documentary of it.
Yep, always.
Who you and Tracy.
So now that we have the screen out, we are going to clean up all the gunk.
Tell me I'm gonna have to cut these screws off. It's just a tad too long.
You want to try this one?
A shorter one?
I think so.
Yeah, here. We put that one in.
They're gonna think I didn't help at all because all I'm videoing is you doing stuff.
I know, I'm gonna tell them.
I did a lot of work, thank you very much.
You video your pretty door being put up?
No, because I was holding the door. Oops. That's good.
Huh?
That's enough.
And that heat gun does good on that.
Lilo, you're so pretty.
You can't stop it when it gets going. See what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. So what would I do different? If I were to do this again, first of all, I would probably put it on the ground. We had a couple freezes and everything was doing pretty good. But the very last freeze, I was running a heater in here, but I did not take my plant floater trays out of their floater containers, whatever we want to call them. They're actually like cement mixer buckets, but I didn't take them out and put them up on the shelf. And because the air can get underneath the greenhouse, it froze the water. So there's no insulation on the floor. So the heat rises, so everything on the shelves has been okay. But the water froze and it killed 200 of my tomato plants. I've also had issues with germination in the trays, and I don't know if that is a humidity issue because they are drying out so fast. The floater trays do great, but the ones up on the shelves I had a lot of problems with. So I've got to figure that out. But another thing I would do differently, and this is actually something I've planned to do in the future anyway, because I knew this plastic would not last forever. So I was hoping it would go for about 2 years, and then I had planned to put the like corrugated panels on here to make it more airtight and also hotter, basically, to where I could control it a little bit better. But I'm hoping now that I can do that over the winter rather than wait an additional year. Just because I have had issues with the plastic tearing in high winds and water issues getting in here. That's another thing. The plant shelf was a really bad idea because even though we sealed it and sealed it and sealed it with silicone, we keep finding leaks coming in from that plant shelf. So I would not do that again. Other than that, though, I love the size. I think it's a great size. And I mean, I do love where it's at. I love where it's positioned. I like the shape of it. So I think we just need to do a little bit of tweaking. But for the size of it and the learning curve, because I've never had a greenhouse before, I've only, dabbled in my dad's greenhouse, which he is a complete floater system. But I'm really happy with it, and for the price of it, the $750 to get this up this year was great. And I like being able to recycle, reuse, and I really enjoyed the experience of building this with my dad, because that's something really special to me. He is an engineer, and so he did a lot of the design work and measurement and everything based on what I wanted. And he and I built it together with just very little help from my husband putting the plastic on, and a couple neighbors came over to help us put the plastic on too because it was windy that day. But everything else my dad and I did ourselves. And that experience with him is priceless to me. So I really love my little greenhouse, and I'm looking forward to changing it a little bit to make it even better. And I will let y'all know when we do that. But by all means, work on these projects. If you can buy one, buy one. If you can't, make something happen. This has been a little refuge for me in the early months of this year. Now it's getting hot and I can be outside in the garden. But January, February, and March, this little room was exceptional for my sanity, basically, as a gardener. So I encourage you to keep growing and keep building and keep scavenging. I love to scavenge things and make them into something amazing. So I hope you will continue to take this journey with me as I show you more about our gardening and life and building from found objects and cheap things. So see you in the next one.